Hey there, it's Heather Hakes. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the easiest way to release resistance. But before we get started and to dive into today's lesson, I want to offer you a free gift. Check out my website, heatherhakes.com, and take the free life assessment. This is a great tool for you to get clarity in life on where you're feeling stuck and help you create clarity on where you want to go. Again, take the free life assessment, and you can find that at my website, heatherhakes.com. So what I want to share with you, I've had multiple conversations with coaching clients and friends and other people over the last couple of weeks, and I find it very interesting. It's literally the same conversation I'm having over and over again with many different people, and that is the fear of the next step. So all of these individuals, funny how it happens that way, they all want a career change, but they're afraid to take that step on creating their business because they're afraid of failure. Or, the other fears I heard was that, well, maybe I'm too old, or nobody's going to listen, or nobody's going to be interested in this, or I don't know what to do, or they're afraid to leave their stable job because they're a guaranteed paycheck. But let me tell you this, even having a corporate job is not guaranteed. Things happen all the time, companies buy companies, and there's layoffs and other things. So I just want you to know of the stories we have told ourselves and conditioned that there's only stability in a paycheck, or I can only get paid by having a job. And even if changing a career isn't the same, I want you to pay attention because you have underlying fears, these subconscious fears that may be holding you back in a relationship or moving across country to where you want to go because of unknowns or whatever fears you may have. But what I ultimately want to help you with, no matter what area of life you're feeling this fear and feeling this resistance, I want to help you release it, to let it go. Because fear is what's holding you back. And it's these limiting beliefs of, what if it won't work out? And I love the acronym for fear, that it's false evidence appearing real. And so the number one tool and technique I want to offer you to help you release the resistance is to face your fears. And the easiest way to do that is to sit down and literally write them out. And I had a coaching client do that just this week. So I asked her, sit down and write out all your fears. And it's going to take some courage and some humility, but write it out. What are you truly afraid of if you leave this relationship, if you leave this job to start your own business? What are you afraid of if you leave your home and move across country, or whatever your fear may be? Write them all out. And ultimately, what it came down to, once my client wrote out all of her fears, when we broke them down, that she's too old, the tech is too hard, that nobody's going to come, on and on, ultimately, her fears were she didn't feel worthy or enough. And those are the most common fears and limited beliefs holding people back, and it may be holding you back. So what I want to help you do is, number one, you've got to become aware, what is this fear? And the easiest way to do that, and fear is the resistance holding you back, keeping you stuck. The way you become aware of that is to sit down, pen to paper, literally do this work. Pause this now if you need to, or do it as soon as you're done listening, but write it out. What are you afraid of if you leave this job that you've been in for a decade? What are you afraid of if you start this new business? Is it the tech? Do you think you're too old, that nobody's going to come, nobody will buy it? What are those fears? And then you're going to figure out, when you face them and have them pen to paper, you can then look at them and go, oh, well, that's a silly fear. That will never happen. Or I can't believe I was actually thinking that. That's what's keeping me from procrastinating and not getting started, or the excuses ongoing. Once you see them pen to paper, you will see the false evidence appearing real. And that's what I want to help you. And once you sit down and you write these out and you actually face them, then you release the power that fear has over you. It's fear that has that chokehold. And I don't want you to get to the end of your life and regret not taking that risk, not taking that chance, not taking that leap and doing the thing you want to do because you had some underlying fears. And ultimately, kind of like worry, it gives you something to do and it gets you nowhere. But having these fears, most of the time, they're not even real. And so I just want to help you. In order to release this resistance, you have to face it, write them down, see it clear, pen to paper, and then find accountability. If you can't do this on your own by facing them and being like, okay, so I realize the next steps are, then that's where coaching is so powerful and involved. And I'd love to help you. And if it's not me, there's somebody else that is up your alley that can help you, show you the way, that can help shine the light on these fears. But you have to start by doing the work on getting clear on what it is that's holding you back. And I am telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's because ultimately you don't feel worthy and you don't feel enough. And that is BS. That's not true, but those are your belief systems. And until you understand what you have programmed in your subconscious, that you're not worthy, you're not enough, that you're not capable, that you can't do it, until you're aware of those, that's when you can release them and let them go and let those fears and limiting beliefs stop running your life. So again, I want to sum this up and help you realize the number one thing that is keeping you in resistance is fear. And the only way to shed light on fear and to let go of its chokehold and power over you is to recognize it, to see it, and then realize it's false evidence appearing real. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. I'll catch you on the next one.